All the discussions that we've had around self improvement and self esteem have been leading up to the big topic of self confidence. Because it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're a king or a lord or a farmer, it's the confidence in your abilities or in the value of the things that you want to achieve that brings you into action towards achieving those things. So, whether you have the IQ of the most intelligent person in the world, or you have the wealth of the richest person in the world, if you don't have the confidence in yourself or in the things that you aim to achieve, you will not put those action steps and plans into place. And therefore, confidence overrides everything. It overrides education. Because if you think about it, there were more inventions in the ancient times of darkness, no vehicles and no telephone, than all the poverty and misery that we cry and complain of today as limiting factors. So, what is confidence? And why is this so valuable above everything else that I've just quoted? Think about the most expensive car that you can perceive in the world without the right amount of engine oil to run it. It doesn't work without that engine oil. And too much of it also breaks down your car just as quickly as the lack of that oil. And that's what confidence means to us as humans. That feeling, that worth, that definition of who you are and what you're capable of, and just how invaluable that is in our lives. My name is Asa, and I appreciate my returning subscribers. Your motivation keeps me going and it spreads the videos to those who need it the most. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe and join us. I upload content weekly around social empowerment, advocacy, self-healing, and self-growth. Today, we've been building up to the topic of self-confidence. We started with self-improvement, then self-esteem, because I truly believe that this is the worth that you see in yourself that comes through in the confidence in your actions or the lack thereof. And there's been a healthy debate about what comes first. Is it the confidence that comes first or the validation of success or failure that increases or knocks down on our confidence? Because confidence is so fragile, like a child's balloon, that as we go along life, we build on it or we pop holes into it. So we inflate and deflate based on our experiences of joy and sorrow, of success and failure, based on our lived experiences, or based on how the people that we surround ourselves with treat us. So if we are to think that confidence comes first, then it means that you have to have the confidence in yourself to go into an education setting and start that process because you think you can do it. That you have that confidence to walk up to someone you love or admire and tell them that they are the object of your admiration. Or that you have that confidence to walk into an interview room and wow them with your skills and your expertise. But there's another school of thought that thinks that it's the success from those things that boosts your confidence. That you start a job and then you do well and you get a promotion and that promotion gives you a boost. Or you go into that education setting and the learning and the achieving gives you little confidence boosts at each step of your achievement. And finally, that in the relationship, you have to find the right partner and fall in love with. And the treatment they give you is laying those building blocks of confidence on you one step at a time. Therefore, they can either help to build you up or to pull you down based on how they treat you. But that leaves a huge amount of power and value in other people's hands as far as your life is concerned. And as much as those facts are valuable, I'm here today to give you a few reflective points that you can use to build on you so that you can manage those things in the external that pull to inflate or deflate better in your life. There is a quote by Plato which I want to use in this analysis of confidence. And to summarize it, it states that we can easily forgive a child who is afraid of the dark, but that the real tragedy of life is when grown men are afraid of the light. And in that case, the light is wisdom, is reality, is the truth, and being able to step into it, acknowledging your strength, acknowledging possibilities. And to further explain this quote of his, he tells the story of prisoners in a cave who have lived in that cave so long so that all they know is what is within that cave, the shadows that they see as the fireplace lights up and casts those shadows on the wall. Until one of them escapes and goes out into the world and experiences a beautiful world. But instead of enjoying it alone, they go back to inform those other prisoners that there is a beautiful life beyond that cave. But they laugh in disbelief at this crazy person who is trying to tell them to leave their comfortable zone of the cave and follow him into this imagined reality that the world presents. And so you find that one person had the confidence to break out of that cave without knowing what awaits. And they went and experienced it. And for the other people, even though they were given valuable information about what awaits, they didn't have the confidence or the belief in themselves or that imagined reality to go after it. And that's how a lot of us function in life. And those are the things that we need to overcome to get out of our own shells. Because however confident you identify yourself as, if you're not able to take those steps to imagine those realities and go for them as if you have the worth in yourself, then the confidence is in your mind. It's being shelved or actually imagined. And a lot of that imagination stems from our own experiences of failure or fears around it, or the lack of an ability to forgive ourselves for past failures or the possibilities of those that are yet to come. And if we look into the Bible, where this lady who committed adultery was brought to Jesus for punishment, because these people knew that it was the law. Your crimes have to be punished. Your mistakes have to be punished. And most often, we carry the biggest share of those punishments. Everyone came to the Lord with a stone to cast at that person who had committed that horrible crime. And what did he say? He said to them that let he who has no crime cast the first stone. Yeah, you're right. This lady committed a horrible crime. And so has everyone else standing here. But if you're perfect, cast the first stone. And everyone dropped their stones and walked away. But the reality is that a lot of us are holding these stones for ourselves. We are casting these stones at ourselves. And the external influences and the external hurts and the external insults are secondary to those guilty and shameful feelings that we already bear for ourselves. And the way to build your confidence is to drop those stones. Start by dropping it on yourself. Being kinder to yourself, being kinder to those around you, forgiving yourself, forgiving others, and starting there to celebrate and appreciate you more, and to pass that on to those around you from the inside out. The other thing that we need to get better at is asking for help. And to quote the Bible again, Luke 8:43, this lady called Veronica, who has been bleeding for 12 years, musters the courage to go up and grab the master's garment. And immediately she was healed. But she was embarrassed when he asked who touched him. And eventually she owned up. She owned up and she told the whole world what her issue had been and how she had been healed. How many of us miss our chance of healing because we are too ashamed to step up and touch somebody and ask somebody and explain our horrific vulnerability to somebody, and thereby missing that chance for healing, for growth, for forgiveness, because we stayed in the comfortable darknesses of our lives. So how do we start to improve this much needed confidence? And the first tip that you need to learn is self-talk. Self-talk is that thing that pulls you away from the crowd. Like a confidential pep talk is the thing that pushes Lady Veronica from the crowd into the forefront to grab at the garments of the person who will save her. And you're the only one who can talk yourself into taking that bold step of faith. The second one is self-care. We put things in the bin that we want to throw away, and then we take them to rubbish heaps. And sometimes we treat our lives like we treat those wasted things that we put aside. When we have important events, we dress up, we put on our best clothes and our heels, and we step out the door feeling amazing. But those are the 2% of the times that we make ourselves to feel that way. And the rest of the 98%, we put ourselves on dumping grounds, and we need to do better. Because when you treat yourself better, you feel better consistently, and that will boost your mood and your feelings about yourself, especially if your insecurities are based on your physical appearance, which will then have a knock-on effect on how you go for the other external things, because you know that other people will judge you by how you judge that appearance of yours. The other thing that you can do to boost your education is to imagine that reality that makes you go for those things. And once you imagine it, educate yourself. Put yourself through learning and platforms that will give you the ability to achieve those things. And by learning each milestone, you're already boosting your confidence. And then when you go ahead and achieve those things, that confidence increases even more. Give yourself room for mistakes, permission to accept and even celebrate the mistakes in your life, because mistakes are like puzzles. And whether you do a project wrongly or rightly, just pretend that it's a puzzle that you can put back into pieces and start rebuilding. So the mistake is just the fact that you put the wrong place, the wrong piece of puzzle in the wrong place, and you learn from it and you rebuild and you move on to a bigger platform. Expand your horizon, try new things, step out of that box that you put yourself, step out of the cave. Believe the person who tells you about the beautiful new world, or actually step into it and find out for yourself without waiting for someone to come and give you that value before you attempt out of your current circumstance. Do those things consistently, and you will start to see something different about yourself. It doesn't matter how rich you are. It doesn't matter how intelligent you are. If you don't believe in yourself and you don't believe in the value and the worth of life, whatever amount of confidence that you think you have is valueless unless you put it into achievable plans and go for them. And if you trip and fall, get up and evaluate what tripped you over and carry on going. And that's how you build your confidence, one step at a time, one action at a time, and one platform at a time. Get out of your caves, jump out of the hiding places, and knock on some doors and ask for help. And above all, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself and stop letting other people define your worth for you. If you've enjoyed this, please share it and motivate and empower someone else, and encourage them to believe in themselves and follow these tips to improve on their confidence, to keep the right amount of engine oil in their cars.